Hello, drama lovers. Welcome back to K-pop World. In the world of entertainment, not everything caught on camera ever makes it to the screen. Some scenes are deliberately cut, some are locked away, and some are erased for what they call the greater good. But when a truth that has long been buried begins to show signs of life, something else opens up, an old wound. And that wound doesn't belong to the actors. It doesn't belong to the director. It belongs to those who watched from beginning to end, who held on to hope in silence, and loved quietly. The audience. This story comes from behind the scenes of one of the most talked about dramas to this day, The Untamed, a title that not only launched the international fame of Wang, Yibo, and Xiao, but also became a milestone in the portrayal of intense, emotionally charged male relationships in Chinese drama. And yet, beneath the success, beneath the applause and sold-out fan meetings, lies a question that has haunted fans for years. Was there really a kissing scene between Wang, Yibo, and Xiao that was filmed but never aired? For years, that question hung in the air like an unfinished script. No one knew for sure. No one ever confirmed it, and no one outright denied it. But one thing was certain, the fans never forgot. And now, slowly but surely, the doors once locked seem to be creaking open. The past is whispering. And it all began with a single sentence, spoken not by just anyone, but by the one who stood closest to the truth. The director. When an old interview with the director resurfaced and went viral, no one expected the impact to be this intense. The fandom paused. The internet held its breath. Fans, who had relied only on intuition and unspoken moments, suddenly found themselves staring into the gap between reality and fiction. In the clip, the director said, "There was one scene in the final episode that we ended up keeping to ourselves. It was the producer's decision. That scene was a bit too bold for that time." When asked directly if the scene in question was the scene that fans had long suspected, the director smiled. A small smile, not a confirmation, not a denial, but ambiguous enough to shatter the silence that had wrapped the fandom for so long. To some, it was just a smile. But to those who had loved The Untamed with all their heart, it was everything. The Untamed is more than just a drama. It is the story of two souls bound by fate, two hearts that understood each other without the need for many words. In a world full of rules and silence, Wangji and Wuxian loved quietly. With glances, with gestures, with unsaid promises. It's no wonder that fans always believed there was something deeper than just friendship. The chemistry between Wang, Yibo, and Xiao felt too real, too natural, too personal. They weren't just acting. They became those characters. And when rumors first spread in late 2020 about a deleted kissing scene, some dismissed it as fanfiction. Others saw it as a missing truth that had never been given space. But this time, with the director's soft-spoken hint, everything changed. Soon after, what appeared to be an early version of the final episode's script began to circulate. The script described a very different ending, one that never aired. One paragraph read, Zhan looked at Wang in silence. The space between them was as thin as breath. No words were spoken, just a gentle touch, slow, deep, as if time stopped just for them. That passage spread like wildfire. On forums, on Twitter, on WeChat and Discord, everyone was talking about one thing. Was this gentle touch a subtle way of describing a kiss? For some, the answer was obvious. They didn't need footage. They didn't need confirmation. The words were enough. But for others, this became the beginning of a new search. One particular behind-the-scenes clip also went viral again. In it, Wang Yibo is seen gazing at Xiao during the Wuxian scene rehearsal. His stare lingers, long and steady, until a staff member calls him back for filming. Xiao only smiles, softly, almost like he knows something we don't. Later, during a fan meeting, Xiao said, "There was a scene that we both really liked, but didn't make it into the final cut. It's a pity." Wang Yibo, seated beside him, chuckled and bit his lip. He didn't say anything, but his hand, which nearly brushed Xiao said enough. Fans capture that moment. And to this day, it's one of the most shared fan clips online, an eternal mystery wrapped in silence. The fandom's reaction was swift and emotional. Some felt betrayed, that something so important, so intimate, was taken away from them. Others felt vindicated, because after all the years, they finally had the missing puzzle piece. "We always knew," one fan commented. "Their eyes never lied. If that scene really exists, just release it. Once. That's all we ask." That scene wasn't just a kiss. It was the truth of their bond. Some chose silence. Instead of words, they shared fan art, wrote poetry, created videos. Love that was never aired found its way through creation. But still, one question remains. Why was the scene never released? The answer, while simple, is complex. Censorship. China has strict regulations regarding LGBTQ+ content. And while the Untamed was already a tamed-down version of the original Mo Dao Zhushi novel, there were lines even the production team couldn't cross. They had to make a choice: tell the full story and risk being banned, or hold back and ensure the drama could reach the audience it deserved. They chose the latter. Was it the wrong choice? There's no easy answer. But one thing is clear: the Untamed still lives on. Even without the kiss, Wangji and Wuxian became symbols of unspoken love. A love that didn't need to shout to be heard. Today, when we rewatch The Untamed, when we slowed down every pause, every gaze, every breathless moment, you can almost feel the weight of what's missing. You can almost hear the silence speaking louder than words. The truth was never erased. It was only hidden, and in that silence, it became eternal. Hello, drama lovers. Today's story wasn't meant to claim anything, but rather to invite you to see, to feel, and to remember. What do you think? Do you believe the scene was really filmed? Or is it just our emotions projecting what we wanted to see? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because sometimes truth reveals itself when we finally dare to listen to the past. See you in the next video, only on K-Pop World.